Je viens voir mon père.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Victor. Ma mère, c'est Nadia.
Tu as quel âge?
13 ans. Enfin, 14 bientôt.
Je n'ai pas d'enfant.
No, I didn't think it was so long. I mean, I saw around like 70 boys, which is not, you know, a lot. We did a casting in Paris first, and all the little kids arrive like very pale and sick. So we decided to go to do the casting in the south of France, because you know that boy is living on a beach. You know, he's been living on a beach for 3 years, so it was very important that he looked like he's used to the sun. And I must say that when I saw the video they sent me from the south of France with that those eyes, it has a kind of melancholy in the eyes, nearly a sadness, and it's very pure. It's a pure human and very honest. I mean, in real life, and also in the casting. I mean, it was rehearsal, a sequence of the movie, and what I loved is that he could respect the silence. You know, usually the kid, when they go for a casting, I mean, they are trained by the parents, which is awful, and they are very afraid to forget the text, so they go very fast, and he didn't. So that's the reason. I knew it was him. I said to my producer, I think I've got it. And I had to meet the parents, and I spent a lot of time with the parents, and him also, of course. We rehearsed like a week just to make sure it was strong enough, because my purpose was not to break a kid, because it's 2 months shouting, and he's in every frame of the movie. So yeah, I had to check the resistance.
Il a dit quoi, le médecin?
Il arrête le traitement pour voir comment je me débrouille.
Il arrête tout. On va le voir, le chef.
Il y en a qui acceptent qu'on assiste aux répétitions, mais lui, il va voir personne.
Il n'attend pas 10 ans pour dire à quelqu'un qu'il a un enfant.
Maintenant qu'il est là, t'attends quoi? Qu'il reparte à l'étranger?
Plus doux.
On peut demander à ce gamin ce qu'il fait, là?
I must say I don't know anything about classical music. Now a little bit better. It was like this. I knew that father was going to be a conductor. So I read things about conductor and conducting, and then I found that story about those hammers blow, and I knew my title was going to be The Last Hammer Blow, and then I had to pick up the Six of Mahler, and many of my friends, they said to me, you can't, because Mahler is very complex, and you can't work with, a symphony of Mahler without knowing the classical music. It's very hard. And I waited quite a long time until the end of the script to hear, because I was quite afraid it doesn't fit not with the story, but with the internal feeling of Victor. This is what I needed. And so finally I listened to it, and there is that little moment that he is listening with his mother, in the kitchen, which is also the same moment on the roof at the end. And there is something so pure, so joyful, so romantic, and I was thrilled, because that was related to Victor, the intern feeling, and I was very happy that there was, that moment. Otherwise, I couldn't. And also, it's funny because this symphony lasts around an hour and 20 minutes, nearly exactly the time of the movie, which was not done on purpose, but it has 4 different movements. The first one is it's like a war, going to war, and I think it's a little bit like this in the movie, it's like this with the kid, and it goes very naturally towards something easier, more peaceful, and that was great, because in the movie there are not many words, in every movie I make, there are not many words. It's not very expensive in terms of subtitles. And I don't know how to, maybe I love the characters that are very, for them it's not easy to express, they don't know how to communicate. So that was like a voiceover, you know what I mean? Mahler was my voiceover to tell the feelings, and the way it goes in the symphony was easy because it was great because the father is getting, more and more. They are getting more and more related, closer during the story, and it's exactly the same movement with the sixth.
Tu seras bien content de l'avoir là-bas.
Où ça là-bas?
There's no intention. When I write, I'm not saying to myself, okay, I'm going to write a story where Mahler will be the link. And there's no intention. There is small work and little by little trying to make every second the le plus juste.
The most exact, the most correct.
And you can't. I've always now I know that I can't go directly to a sequence because I've got a fantasy of a sequence. I have to work little by little, and then suddenly maybe things can happen and emotion can be there, but you can't just search directly for emotion. It's just a little, comme un travail artisanal.
Yeah, it's like being an artisan. It's like little by little things that are going to create a whole.
On va aller où?
Chez mes parents.
À Chalon? Pourquoi vous êtes revenu? Pour me voir?
We didn't have enough money to shoot with the French orchestra, and also they were very, very and bouquet.
Yeah, they were booked.
Okay, and that was a great chance because we had to go to Ukraine. We had my composer, Evgeny Galperin, that is going to be here tomorrow, sent me to Ukraine because he knew there was a great orchestra. So I went there, I met the people, I choose between the young and the old. There were two orchestra, young and old, and I mixed them to do my orchestra, and then they arrive in France. They spend a month with us, which was I think directors will like vampire, and we grab the energy from the others, and they were so happy to come because it's not a big surprise, but they were paid like for a month what they were paid for a year there.
Yeah, the question that I want to ask: how did Gregory prepare to play the conductor?
He had a teacher, Sevolod, a Russian guy who's a chief teacher in conducting in a conservatory. And he had two coffee with Gregory. And he said to Gregory, I can form you.
Yeah, I can form you.
I can form you. I can form any person to be a conductor in 3 or 5 years. And Gregory said, okay, let's forget. And no, I think what I love with Gregory is that he's not only a good actor, but he really knows what is essential. And many actors would have tiré la couverture à soi.
Yeah, he would have pulled the blanket to him.
Rehearsing for 6 months and saying to the journalist, okay, I've rehearsed and he would have talked to you about, what it is to conduct a symphony, but he knew that the most important thing was not to be a conductor, but to be a father. Not to be a father, then to become a father. And he knew it's not because he's lazy, not at all. He knew that he had to concentrate on one thing. And this was, this conducting, learning how to conduct. He couldn't do it, in like even 4 months. So he just listened to the symphony, and then it was the only problem was we shoot in 35 millimeters, so it's not like shooting on a video, so you can't. So he really focused on one thing: is how to make the orchestra start. It's like that thing. We wanted this to be real, and after if you're a real conductor, you will see. But this is not about that.
Tu fais ce que tu veux avec lui et tu le fais pas venir ici.
I never do. I mean, I don't direct the actors. I mean, you know that the direction is a choice. When you take some personalities like this, and they have bodies, they have you give them a script very written, and you don't have to. You just give them confidence. And for Romain, that was exactly the same. I just watched him. Nearly as a mother, I wanted him to be happy on the shooting, and I wanted him to go very far and push the limits, and everything is in the text. The silence are written. I mean, if you go and for example, when he has this garbage and his mother says to him, "Can you put the garbage outside?" It is written that he goes outside. He waits 2 seconds. Because he think of something, what he's going to ask his mother when he will be inside. So those 2 seconds are very important, and they are written. So there's nothing to create, but the only thing he had to do is be there and play with the others, and that's all.
Present.
Be present. But maybe at one point in the middle of the shooting, my editor, she called me and she said, maybe you're like falling in love with him. It doesn't mean, it's falling in love with an expression. When you're shooting a kid and he's on every frame, you've got so much desire and you want to show him his face to the audience, and it's very strong. It's very so. And she said, be careful because it's very inside himself. He doesn't show anything, so he can't be the whole movie like this. You have to do something. And I remember when the little Spanish kid said to him, "Your mother is going to die." I tried something new, and I said to Romain, "Okay, you're going to change. You're going to think that it is not Nadia Clotilde M who's going to die. You're going to think just something simple. It's your mother. Try this." And something happened. It just opened up a little bit. And I remember the chief operator said to me, "Wow, there is something here." And he came back to me, Romain, and I said, "It's great." I mean, he was very moved by what he tried. And I mean, by the think of the, losing his mother. And he said, "Yeah, but it's very simple, but I cheat." So I said, "What?" So yeah, it's cheating. If I'm doing this thinking of my mother, I'm cheating. So I said, "No, you're acting. This is acting." And he says, "So Clotilde and Gregory, they're cheating from the beginning?" And I said, "Yeah, but if you want. But you can call it like this, cheating, but it's not cheating. It's just, you're becoming an actor." Yeah.
Pour ressentir des choses avec la musique, t'as pas forcément besoin de t'y connaître. Tu fermes les yeux puis tu commences à voir. Je sais pas, moi, de l'eau, une forêt, des enfants qui passent. Ça te rend triste, gai, ça te donne envie de bouger les montagnes.